Hey people, it's what day is it? Wednesday. My goodness, the 8th of January. Looking a little grizzled this morning. I need to shave. I will later. Cheers. Coming on to say hello. Keep that connection going with people. Sending out some energy. And here I am. I just got up, so I just happened to look here in my Instagram messages, and old friend of mine sent me the message that Peter Yarrow of Peter, Paul, and Mary died. I knew that from yesterday. They were important to me as a kid. I don't have any Peter, Paul, and Mary records anymore. But yeah, they were important to me as a child. Coming on to do a review of some music I received from someone who asked if they could send me their music. Someone who watches the channel. A fella by the name of Keith Berry, a British musician. I'd never heard of him. I went ahead and looked at his the website for the music. He sent me 2 CDs. I can see why. The latest one is this one, Tropical Modernism. Keith Berry is an instrumentalist. This music is all instrumental. On Discogs, the description is Exotica Lounge. And that fits this one definitely. This could almost be modern day, what they used to call easy listening music. Because this is well made. It's digital. I can hear that there's no, I don't hear any real quote instruments. There's a lot of variety in the themes on the album, and it's really well done. But I can hear, as I was listening to it, it was like, yeah, this is the sort of thing I could imagine hearing at waiting in a reception office for a doctor or something. And that's. I mean, it's not background music, but it almost could be. It's engaging enough, but it's really pleasant. That's what I mean. Keith, thanks for sending me your music. I'll remember to leave a link in the description below the video here for folks who may want to buy your stuff. I like this one much better. The new one, that Tropical Modernism, that's is brand new, and it's really well done. This is a lot like Eno. This came out in 2022. Viable Systems 5. So apparently there's more than this. Even the graphics are somewhat reminiscent of Brian Eno stuff, installations and stuff. This is really good. It actually, as I was listening to it, at a couple times, I thought to myself, I could almost say to myself, I'm listening to Brian Eno. This is well done. Ambient. I like this. Thank you for sending it to me. There's lots of good music out there in the world, people. Sure is. Sure is. Thinking, I listened to Roy Harper yesterday, and I hadn't listened in a long time. And I think he was a brave soul, to just speak whatever's on his mind, write songs about whatever he's really feeling. Yes, I love his song Another Day, and first time I heard it by Peter Gabriel and Kate Bush was off of a bootleg, which I still have, where they had performed it on some kind of TV show. It's a great song, and I love their version of it, and This Mortal Coil does it as well. It's cold, people. I thought I'd grab a couple more folk-related albums, and as I was looking, I couldn't find one. And it's like I hate when I misfile because that's what happens. Is that I'll be filing stuff and I won't be looking, and I'll file it and then I'll realize I put something from the S's in the E's. So there's some records that are lost. But here's one that goes way back in my collection. I've had this for decades. And I love it. Dando Shaft. Love this. The music and the singing and the whole vibe of this album. Dando Shaft. On a collectible label, well, leastways I think it's collectible. RCA Neon. Only got a few of them. I've had this since the 70s. I don't know how I got lucked out and found this, but I love it. And it is folk. But I like their voices too. I like Whispering Ned. It's a good album. It's good music, good music. The other stuff that's going on besides working more on the new album, I'm going to show another record, is I'm not a movie watcher. So the latest thing that I'm getting through, and it's kind of painful. Some of these documentaries are painful to watch, the parts of people's lives. Arthur Lee and Love, a documentary. I've seen some others, but this one has a lot of Arthur Lee telling his own story in the years before he died. And sure enough, there's that black-white thing where these guys were the it thing. And they were like the first, in many ways, one of the first mixed-race rock bands. And they opened the door for a lot of people. But they couldn't... They ought to have had the acclaim and success like the Doors. The Doors rode in on the back of Love. So that was interesting. The other one where I had to, when it got to the Pentecostal stuff where Little Richard went religious, it was like, okay, I know about this. And his whole story, Little Richard, he is the king of rock and roll. He is one of the true architects of teenage culture in being black and gay. I mean, he was mercilessly crucified throughout his career. Chuck Berry and Little Richard were the first musicians before I could speak. They were the first music. That was the first music, plus the Everly Brothers. But especially Little Richard just tripped my trigger as a little boy. The energy and the music. And seeing how, indeed, a lot of stuff that went on after him, including even things that Iggy Pop did, Little Richard did it first. Oh, computer, don't mess up on me now. Another folk album is Trees on the Shore. This is not an original. This one always reminds me of when I went to Japan to work in '94 and visited the record shops in Shibuya in Tokyo. Seeing this on the wall there back in the 90s for $300. That's when I first started to see such outrageous prices, and again, if you were to prorate that to today's prices, it would be maybe like $1,000. It's a very good album. I love the Hypnosis cover too. I was always intrigued by that image, but the music holds up. This is a strong album. This reminds me of another record. It's right here. I'll grab it. Yeah. I love this sound. I love this, where it takes me inside. Judy Dibble, who was almost in King Crimson, right? Trader Horn, Morning Way. This is just a sweet album. You guys know this album, right? Love this. And one more along those lines. Well, this one was made when the singer was really young, I think still a teen. Mellow Candles, Swaddling Songs. I love this stuff. I do. I just love it. I love it, love it, love it. So, and then I listened to, besides the Roy Harper, I listened to the CLB. I love this album. Spirit of Love. I like and I like Clyde Palmer's voice. As much as I complain, I'm not a hypocrite totally. It's just I know what I like. And the music is almost always the first order of business for me. What is the music doing, as opposed to what are they saying, or what are the words? So, yesterday it arrived in the mail. This is my second album of 2025. It's not my first purchase because technically I bought this. This is the last album record I paid money for. I bought this in December. Richard, if you see this, it arrived. Base Communion's new album, but the limited edition vinyl edition of it. The Itself of Itself. It arrived yesterday. Now I appreciate that Richard sent me a promo copy of the CD to review. Excuse me, but I said it then. This deserves vinyl, a vinyl treatment. And I collect Steven Wilson. I was just talking about Porcupine Tree. Steven Wilson is one of those kind of artists that I've just decided to collect. And so I wanted this on the vinyl, and it is divine. And it makes... I love this type of work, and one of the projects I'm working on right now is actually kind of similar to this, but more varied, sound-wise. But I love the graphics. Nice paper and a big double vinyl. I love the graphics that Steven Wilson tends to choose or approve for his releases. Very evocative of what we hear. And the album made a different impression on me when I dropped the needle, as I knew it would. It's not as dark as I thought at first, and a bit more musical. And thumbing through and looking at the images, full size CD booklet is just a joke. And I'm putting out CDs because that's what if I could afford records, I would. I'd love to see my latest work on vinyl. It's an honor, really. But CD is more practical and affordable. But this came yesterday, as well as the Keith Berry. And interestingly enough, Steven Wilson is forward-thinking, or was it you, Richard, who looks like it's Steven Wilson? The record was released in December 2024, so on Discogs it's 2024. On down here, Steven Wilson has it published and copyrighted 2025, licensed exclusively under exclusive license from Steven Wilson. Very nice. So, two new records so far in 2025 already, first week. The Moon X, which I highly recommend if you haven't gotten it. It should sell out. And now this, the Base Communion. Checking right quick in the comments. Cool Guy Wolf says, "Hey Dereck, I just received your 4 albums yesterday. Already listened to 2 of the albums, the Muse and Interlude. Amazing music." This is you people telling me, not me. I really enjoyed the albums. I believe everyone should be listening to your music. It's very powerful. Thank you. It is. I can't wait to listen to the other 2 albums. Thank you for this amazing music. I can't wait for new albums to come out when they are ready. Thank you. Other folks chiming in about their love for Roy Harper. Another person saying, thanks for the House of Love name drop. Yeah, House of Love. If you don't know them, get them, okay? One World by John Martin. I think I have that. I didn't pull all of my John Martin stuff. And yeah, Dylan's had incredible impact. Yes. Okay. So, yes. And as Daniel Griffith says, yes, thank goodness we all think differently. Life would be boring as heck if we did think alike. Variety is the spice of life. It is. Okay. And Hippie Dave, I see that he's seen Roy Harper many times. That would be cool. That would have been cool. So, folks, let's try to make the best of these days. I'm watching the events of the world and just thinking, what in the world is going to happen this year? It's not looking good on a global scale as far as, events. Not looking good. So let's try to make the best of our individual lives and try to raise each other up and be loving and kind. Cheers.